Well, I might be at Helsinki Central Station, but that's only because I was having a coffee and a chat to Mark from Let's Make a Trip before he departed up to the Arctic Circle by train. Now for me, I've got a local tram to catch because I'm off to the Western Terminal. Outside the station I can pick up the 7T, which will take me directly to the West Terminal. Now a single ticket from the machine will cost me €3.20 for this 15-minute ride. As I leave the iconic railway station behind, I get to thinking that we really must have a closer look at that one on the channel next time I'm in the area. Maybe I should catch the train out to Turku and then from there get the Stockholm ferry. Anyway, the sight of a passenger walkway implies we're probably near a terminal. And sure enough, the tram pulls up and we all alight. The 7T immediately rebadges itself as a 9T and returns to the city by a different route. Well, there's been a harbour here since 1911, and this rather nice new terminal opened in February 2017. As with many of these Baltic ferries, you can check in at the desk for a €5 fee, but I complete the job at the machine and my ticket gets me through the barriers and straight on up the escalators. And at the top we get quite a wow moment. This really is a beautiful place to have to wait for a ferry. Oh, look at this excellent wooden model of the terminal. It's really lovely. Incidentally, I was asked in the previous video's comments whether I could drop timestamps, so that's what I'm doing. And it's worth noting that although it's only 9:10 in the morning, there's already lots of passengers downing large glasses of beer. You see, it's Friday morning and it seems that large groups of Finns are heading out to Estonia on a drinking weekend, or maybe just a drinking day trip. Out on the balcony we can watch the vehicles queue at the gates as our ferry, the MS MyStar, appears around the corner. She has to do a 3-point turn here to back into port, so we get a good look at this very modern ship. She was actually built here in Finland at a cost of, wait for it, €250 million. Now this cruise ferry will gobble up 2,800 passengers, although it only has 46 cabins. But given it generally works this 2-hour route, that isn't really a surprise. Soon the incoming passengers are streaming off, and at about 9:45 we're all called forward to board the ship. There's no further checks, just a stampede by the people who obviously want to grab their favourite seats. Or maybe be first to the bar. And we enter over the gangway onto deck 8, but of course my first thought is to see just how high can we get. There are a few people taking cabins on deck 10. They're handy, I reckon, if you've very small children, but we will pass right through and out onto the sun deck. And the view outside, well, it's probably not as nice as when I was in Stockholm Harbour a couple of days ago, but it's good enough. Although, I'm not quite sure about this glass floor. Well, we're not due to leave for 30 minutes. So let's see if we can manage a lightning tour of the ship. The garden bar on deck 9 is really pleasant and the drinks are already flowing. As they are too in the Sea Pub, which is situated just through these doors. Further forward on deck 9 are luggage lockers charging €2 or €4 in cash depending upon the size. Additionally, there's also a luggage room on deck 8 which charges €2 per bag. The sitting lounge is quiet and the seats are in a 2+1 configuration which works very well. Indeed, I used one a bit later on in the trip and it was very comfortable. Further forward there's a Burger King franchise here, and beyond that the Fast Lane self-service restaurant where a plate of meatballs will set you back €16. A late breakfast at the Delight buffet will set you back €28, with the posher Chef's Kitchen being €38 for brunch. Now it's worth noting that if you book with your ticket, this will bring the price down a bit. Right, let's go down one more level and we should find the information point and also the large open plan Coffee & Co lounge. And of course no ship would be complete without an extensive duty-free shop. You know the score. Swinging back round, the family picnic area is kid-focused with stuff to play on and food and drinks to match. And that's about it. So let's go back upstairs into the fresh air. And a bit early at 10:15, the MyStar pulls away from the dockside and we're underway for Tallinn. Now, this exit from Helsinki avoids the squeeze at Suomenlinna, so we'll soon be steaming southbound, and in 2 hours we'll arrive into Tallinn. Just taking a look back, that really is a lovely terminal building. There's a little bit of island spotting to enjoy, but this is very much more a commercial ferry trip than the leisurely cruise that ran between Finland and Sweden. I must say, the Estonian flag really does have very compatible colours. I think it looks very classy. It actually dates from 1884, when it was the flag of the Estonian University Student Association, only becoming the national flag in 1918. Although it wasn't until 1919 that the Estonians finally threw out the Soviet Red Army, and in 1920 the Treaty of Tartu ended the conflict with the Soviets renouncing all claims on the territory of Estonia. Mind you, that didn't stop them coming back in 1939. Anyway, we're now out into the sea and it's become a lot colder up here, and I find myself all alone playing with the glass floor. So, must be time for a short break. When I pop out again 45 minutes later, I reckon that's Tallink's MS Victoria I in the distance heading for Helsinki, although it is a long way away to be sure. Incidentally, as this was just a morning ferry ride, I just had a quick coffee from the coffee machine on deck 8. I'm planning to have a proper lunch when I get into Tallinn after we dock at 12:30. Right, let's talk about what I paid and then some of the other deals on offer on the route. Well, I parted with €39.30 for my single ticket, which I bought about 2 months in advance. Now, the earlier and later sailings could have been a bit cheaper, but this was the time of day that I wanted to travel. Day returns are generally priced at between €40 and €50, but the cheapest will go down as far as €38.60. Again, it depends on which ferry timings you choose. I could have also had access to the Comfort Lounge, which has cold food, coffee, tea and soft drinks, which comes at a further €29. And then also the Business Lounge has hot and cold food, premium Wi-Fi, that's in return for a whopping €79. And here comes the opposition in the shape of MS Finlandia, which runs the route for Finnish operator Eckerö. All in all, this has been a satisfactory crossing on a technically very good ship. The food offerings are varied and the internal passenger spaces offer lots of choice. Now, deck space is limited, but this feels much more like a ferry crossing than a cruise. After all, we're only on board for 2 hours anyway, and also this dash across the Baltic at its eastern end is not particularly scenic. The port of Tallinn comes into view, and after the scrum that I was in leaving the ship on my crossing from Stockholm to Helsinki, I'm definitely going to let it dock and for many of the people to disembark before I make my way towards the gangways. The skyline of Tallinn looks like that usual mix of the old and the new. Now, my accommodation is firmly in the old town. As we slowly nose into port, the timestamp on the GoPro has us arriving pretty much spot on time. And as I look over the side, I'm interested to see just how the gangway connection works. In the distance is the city of Tallinn, and in the foreground the passengers are beginning to leave the ship. Mind you, I've still time to cross to the other side of the ship to have a quick look at Tallink's Baltic Queen. This one runs their Tallinn to Stockholm service. Right, I might have left it a bit late, and no, by the time I get to deck 8 it's still busy with so many passengers needing to disembark. So I'll just join the herd heading out for the terminal. And down below the ship is disgorging its wheeled cargo as well. As we leave, although there's no specific security checks, there's definitely a watchful eye being cast over the crowds. This terminal is also modern and huge, but then look at all the people it has to handle. Outside, I didn't expect to see so many connecting buses and coaches. It certainly feels like there's a lot of package deals to be had that include onward travel. I hope you've enjoyed this short hop from Helsinki to Tallinn, and if you have, then do click the like button. And if you haven't already, do please subscribe to the channel for more train, bus and ferry trips. And if, like the people who are scrolling below, you'd like to get access to these videos earlier than the Friday release date, and also get some extras like short taster videos and posts as I travel, then you can also sign up to be a channel member. Anyway, for now, it's goodbye from Tallinn in Estonia, and thank you so much for watching.